Hi Kaylee. After our discussions the other day, I thought I would just show you a few of the little basics that I was talking about. So you can watch the video, even if you just do this as a warm-up before you do your other videos that you've been doing on telly. Okay, so if you've got a mat or anything that you can lay down, we were talking about doing the pelvic tilt. So just something like this where you've got a little arch at the back and you lift your tummy to then pushing it down and arching up and pushing down. And you'll feel that quite intense, but you really need to start engaging and warming up the core, okay? So just pelvic tilts, rocking. So arch the back and then pull the tummy in and push the back to the floor and keep rocking between one position and the other. Now the place you then want to work out is in between, so nice and flat, so it's not forward and it's not back. If you can imagine this is the top of the bucket, okay, so if I sit up, your waistband's the top of the bucket, okay, so if you tilt forward, the water will spill out of the bucket, tilt back, the water will spill that way, but neutral is where it's nice and flat, that waistband's nice and flat, so it's not tilted and it's not back, it's somewhere in the middle, okay, so that's the sort of position, just have a little feel for that, so not forward, not back, but somewhere in the middle. Tiny little gap that you can't quite get your hand into. Pull the tummy in all the time, that's the conscious thing you've got to think about, and you can use the glutes, so you can squeeze the glutes as well. So the first thing, feet will be up like this, laid nice and relaxed, and it's just that leg slide. So we're just taking that leg, so nothing else should move. The right leg shouldn't move at all. I put my hands on my hips because I can feel whether my hips are moving, and the back shouldn't arch either. So your main thing is to keep everything lovely and still. So the back isn't moving, tummy's holding in, and you're just sliding that leg in and out along the floor. This leg shouldn't wobble or move. Okay, there we go. So that's the leg slide. Then we try it on the other. Usually about 4 or 6 each leg, that's all you need to do. So putting the tummy in all the time to keep that pelvis still. Leg slide, in and out, along the floor. Good, nice slide in. And a nice slow pace, so take your time because you really want to pull that tummy in. Start getting the body to work together as a bit of a team. And last one, good. So next level could be just taking the foot off the floor slightly. And you're just not going to slide, but you're going to bring, and then you can pop it down again in between. Taking the weight. Now again, this is where the back might start to come off the floor. So you're pulling the tummy in, trying to keep that back nice and still. This leg doesn't move, nothing else moves, just the leg. In and out. And imagine that somebody's pulling your leg all the way out, so lovely and straight. Just hovering above the floor, so that puts a little bit more pressure. On the other side, here we go, so in and out. Good, and you can see where I said about you could get a ball, I might show you that in a minute, where you could get a ball and you could roll the ball underneath your foot. So it would give you something to resist against, okay? So keeping the tummy in, back nice and still, core engaged, leg just goes in and out. Now eventually you could come up into tabletop, okay, and go from here to out, coming back up to here. But that's going to start to get the back to start to arch, because as you take the weight of your foot away, you'll start to probably get an arch, so you'd need to be able to hold the tummy in, coming back up to here. So the only thing again that's moving is the leg that's going in and out. The back shouldn't move at all. Nice and still. So that's something to work up to, okay? Alright, and if you want to try that one, let's do a few on the other side, just see how, so fix the back, pull the tummy in, stay nice and still, really work on pulling that tummy, and you may only be able to do 2 or 3 of these, and then stop. As soon as you feel that back starting to arch, as you want to arch as it goes out, or you might want to pull in as it goes, then stop, because you want to be able to keep it lovely and still in that neutral spine, so just in and out. And then just to show you where you'd be going from here, just in case you want to progress, you can then bring both legs up. Okay, so that's quite challenging. So to begin with, it might be a case of just hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, and pop the toes back down again. Okay, then rest, pull the tummy in, make sure you're in neutral, don't push. A lot of people will push the back into the floor as they lift their legs, so you don't want to do that. You just want to come up, and you might go 1, 2, 3, 4, and down again. So that could be your first step. Just practicing that, so just coming up, and it might be sort of 1, 2 is all you can hold, go back down again, rest, let the back relax, okay, and again, engage the core, 1, 2, up, hold, and then back down again, okay. You can do little toe taps on one side, so you can just take that weight, and then come back down, toe taps, okay. So it's just practicing taking your leg up into that position, just one at a time is another step you can do. Again, all working, making sure everything is starting to work together a little bit more as a team. And you might have an imbalance, you might have one leg that's going to work better than the other. Okay, alright. One thing to think about whenever you're in tabletop, you want to just check that your knees aren't coming near you. Okay, that's too near. Take them out, a little check is nice straight arm, hands on there, and that's tabletop. Okay, feet parallel to the floor, mine a little bit high there. Feet parallel to the floor, but don't, this is easier cheating, and it's going to put more pressure on your back. You want to be able to stay there, okay? So eventually, you'd be up in tabletop, you'd be taking your legs in and out, but don't rush to get there, okay? And what I would always suggest, if you were doing any of this, just start with a simple, whatever level you'll get to, just start with some simple leg slides. Get everything engaged, get everything working, and then slowly progress as a little starter each time you do it. Don't dive straight in with a higher level, okay? Alright, you want to just get everything warmed up and working together. So that's basic leg slide with a little bit of a toe tap through the progressions. Another one I was talking about was knee drop. Okay, so my hips are very stiff. They don't really have a lot of range of movement, so it's just dropping the knee. But the main thing you're thinking about is this right leg isn't moving at all. There is a tendency, if I come here, there's a tendency for this one to start to drop and the hips to come up. You don't want that. You want to stay nice and solid, fingers on hips, and it's just the only thing that moves is this knee. And there really is a tendency, so you have to really fight against that movement, because obviously the hips will want to come across and move together. Okay, so it's just a knee drop, back up, knee drop, all within just your range of movement. Okay, but it's starting to work pelvis, pull the tummy in, and starting to work the hip flexor. And then knee drop to the other side. Again, this leg's got to stay nice and still, see if I can do it. A little bit of a wobble there, as you can see. And again, 5 or 6, 4 to 6 is all you need to do, and then maybe revisit the other side again. Okay, so opposite leg is staying as still as possible, just dropping out as far as you want. And another little one to then stretch would be taking both knees down. Just take that steady. They may only go to here, they may not go all the way down. Try and keep both shoulders on the floor so that you then come back up again. And you can twist to the other side. You can see the rotation, so take it easy. It might just be here for you. Okay, so the progressions for that, so we've just got the simple knee drop, and the next thing can be the fact that you would drop the knee from that tabletop position. But you've got to be comfortable in that tabletop position before you could progress to that. You could keep the knee attached for quite a while, sorry, the toe on the floor for a while. Okay, lovely. And one of the last ones, which would be good, just working on this lower before you did any exercise, just so that everything here is all awake, working together as a team, is obviously the bridge. So that would be a pelvic tilt. You do push the back into the floor, tilt that pelvis so the water would tip out the back, and then slowly peel the back off the floor, squeezing your glutes, lifting the tummy, try and get a lovely straight line between your knees and your shoulders. Okay, hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slowly roll the back down. Last thing touching is your bottom coccyx, and relax. Then you go back into the pelvic tilt, peel the back off the floor, squeeze the glutes, hips nice and high, straight line between knees and shoulders, rolling down. And then there's a couple of other things you can do. I should just grab a ball. Okay, so with that one you can pop a ball. I'm sure you've got a ball like this, or you could grab a kid's ball from somewhere. So as you come in, pelvic tilt, squeezing the ball between your knees, and at the top you can go 1, 2, 3, 4 little pulses, and then slowly lower. And you can do them at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, and rolling up again. Hips nice and high, 1, 2, 3, 4, keeping the glutes engaged, tummy up, and then roll down. But take it on with the roll, because the roll is really nice. It's almost a massage of the back, but it's getting the back to work together as a team. So while I'm there and I've got the ball, I'll show you that leg slide that we did at the beginning. You have your toe on the ball and you can just slide out. You've just got to make that instability, okay, but you've got to keep that side nice and steady and keep the other leg nice and still. Okay, there's also, you can pop your foot on that one and slide the other leg. So again, you've created some instability, so it's going to make it a little bit harder to keep this side still when it's wobbling around on the ball and while you slide the other leg. Okay, so there you go. So that's just a quickie. A few little exercises you can do, and I would always just bring yourself into, not necessarily a tight ball for you, but just give yourself a little massage on your back. Okay, and that's your resting position. So if you wanted to change between slide into something else, just give yourself a little rest and pull your knees in a little bit in between. Okay, and another lovely stretch to finish for you would be the cat-cow. So we've got cat position, tummy tucked in, back nice and arched. You can sit back a little bit, you can come forward, you find, have a little wiggle, you find what stretches your back, and then drop the back, stick the bottom out, nice flat back, and then you come up again, tuck the tummy in, round the back, and then down. And another nice one just to finish, child's pose, sitting back, hands out in front of you, knees can be open so that the tummy and chest can go down, and a lovely stretch there. Okay, so I hope they're going to help. Okay, let me know how you get on. See you soon. Bye.